Alright guys, don't mind me, my beard's coming in. I need to shave. Without water in the house running, it's like, I don't know, I don't like to shave unless I can wash up and stuff because the fuzz gets everywhere and it's gross, so I just rather leave it because I'm not going out. Well, Sunday I'm going to church, but yeah, I'm gonna shave for tomorrow, but right now I couldn't be bothered, so just, you're gonna have to deal with me being fuzzy. But, alright, so I posted what's been going on in my head yesterday, and someone had to comment to make me feel bad, I guess, and say something along the lines of, I came here for bracelets, not for God. And that's the nicer way of saying what they said. So I'm just trying not to make anyone feel bad. So I'm not even gonna repeat what they said in full, yeah. But it just made me start thinking. I did my studies this morning, my prayer and my reading and research, and what I came to realize, I think what I'm going to do on this channel, since I don't really do bracelets anymore. I know they said they signed up for friendship bracelets, but I'm sorry, it's just like, that was me 10 years ago, that's not me now. I'm not saying I'll never do another bracelet. I may, once in a blue moon, but at this point, I am literally beyond bracelets. So you're going to have to deal with that. If you're here for the bracelets alone, they're never coming back probably, so just, you're going to have to deal with that. I'm sorry if I hurt you, but it's just, my life has evolved. I've evolved, and I'm past sitting there for hours making knots. Literally, it would drive me nuts to make those videos because I hated having to speak each knot and tell you every knot. I have an entire beginner's playlist I made up. So if you go to that playlist and you watch from video 1 through whatever I made in order of what the playlist is, you'll know how to make these bracelets. You will know, okay, this grid pattern, this is what it means. I've deciphered everything for you in that playlist. So it's like, you don't need me to sit there and make 100 million knots for you, and then you get confused anyway and don't make the bracelet right and then yell at me because I'm over it. I'm sorry, I'm over it. But anyway, so yes, their comment of them being here for bracelets, not God, made me realize people have this, like, some people, I'm not going to say everyone, because some people are very God-fearing, and then there's this other portion of people who are just like, F God. So basically, I'm realizing me talking and trying to build people up, I shouldn't be using God. I should just be using good. So instead of saying good, God and Satan, I'm just going to say good and evil, because we can all agree that there is good and evil in this world. I mean, hell, I went to the hospital yesterday, and the nurse, one of them, since I have very fat upper arms, they couldn't get the blood pressure cuff on me, and the nurse was like fiddling trying to get it on. I said, oh, they usually put it on my forearm, and she goes, no, that's okay. And I was going to argue, but I'm not confrontational. So I let it go just to see where it would go. And she ended up, I didn't even realize, but she had put the blood pressure cuff around the bar of the handle of the hospital bed. And I was like, what the hell is this? Because I saw it puffing up, and it actually read a blood pressure or whatever blood pressure reading from the bar on the hospital bed. So it wasn't on my arm where it should have been reading me. It was reading the hospital bed. But basically, she found a little hack to get around dealing with me because my blood pressure was pretty high, and I guess she didn't want to deal with me coming in to check on me. So she said, oh, I know, I'll just put it around the bar, it'll read the bar is stable, and then I won't have to deal with her. So I was like, okay. So when the next guy came in, I didn't hit the call button or anything because I know they're busy and I didn't want to bother them. Although they didn't look that busy, it really didn't sound like an emergency room to me. It was so quiet. And when I went to the bathroom, they were all just sitting there. No one was anywhere doing anything. So it's like, I don't know. I haven't been to a hospital in a very long time. And the last time I was there, it seemed to be very busy. And this time it was like a ghost town. I didn't hear any screaming really. One guy was really, really irate. But it just like, other than one guy just screaming because he was angry at one of the nurses, I didn't hear any action. I didn't hear anyone going code blue like you would normally hear in an emergency room. It was like a very calm night. And granted, it was a little late, but still, there was no one there. But anyway, the nurses, some of them were really nice. Most of them, I'll say, were really nice and took really good care of me. But that one, man, like, why would you do that when someone's having blood pressure problems? And they say, oh, the doctor usually puts it here. Why wouldn't you just listen to them? Why would you put it around the hospital bed bar? Because when the next guy came in, I told him he was only like 24, I think he said he was. Oh man, I think I have his name. I think I wrote it down actually because I wanted to remember just to give him a shout out because he was awesome. But let me see. Is it here? Anthony. Yeah, his name was Anthony. And don't quote me on this, but I think said he was 24, and he was so happy and just so nice. And I asked him, I'm like, dude, I just noticed that my blood pressure cuff was wrapped around the bar on the hospital bed reading it. And he's like, that's weird. And like he didn't know what to say about it because he was kind of in shock, I could tell. And then he fixed it up, he put it on me, and everything was fine. And when the next guy came in, I told him what had happened because I was annoyed. I forgot who did it, and I thought maybe one of them would be able to tell me. So I was just kind of dropping hints like, "Hey, did this happen to me?" And they didn't question like who was it. So whatever. I'm not here to like flame anyone, but seriously, like whoever did that is a serious asshat. It was a woman. I don't know her name because they're so like some of them will turn their badges around so you don't know who they are. I love that. Like seriously, doctors should be required to tattoo their name on their forehead, and that just should be how they're labeled. I'm sorry, because just the way some of them are is ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, he comes in and he's like, "Are you okay, my dear?" He was so nice. His name I think was Jr. I called him RJ, I think, one time because I was getting confused with all the names. But no, his name was JR. And I asked him, I'm like, I had my cuff wrapped around my bed. And he's like, oh, that's weird. It was reading your blood pressure. So I was like, so basically you were reading the blood pressure of the bed. So like I said, this clever little vixen, she decided, hey, I don't want to deal with high blood pressure today, so I'm just going to wrap it around the bed, and it will get a stable reading for me, so I can just sit here and play Candy Crush, probably. Because when I was in the mental hospital, that was their MO, too. Like, my cat was trapped in my house, starving to death, and I told one of them, and I needed help contacting ASPCA or someone to help my cat. And they were too busy playing Candy Crush. They wouldn't help me. So I asked for the phone number, and they wouldn't give it to me because, God forbid, I call the animal hospital and be like, help, I'm in a mental hospital. Get me out of here. I mean, like, what did they think I would do? But I wanted to save my cat, and it unfortunately ended up my ex, who was... Me and him were having trouble. Let's just say that. It was, to put it mildly, we were having trouble. And my ex ended up calling me from the house, and the last I heard of Charlie was him screaming in the background from being so hungry and scared. And I just remember his screams in the back of my head every day, and I couldn't help him. And I thought my ex was capable of just like bringing him food, water, and stuff, but the thing is, my family stepped in, and they told me not to give Jimmy the car, which he had driven all this time just fine. They turned me against my fiance when I was in the most drugged up state ever, and I listened to them because they're family. They're supposed to be there for you and not hurt you. Wrong. Family can be really toxic. So I'm just going to say, if you have a toxic family, don't put that on yourself. I know whenever my family was involved with something, other than my grandmother was sweet as pie, but like, and my grandfather too, but like everyone else in my family, like my mom, my dad, and their siblings, like everyone just has this darkness in them, and like, it just, I explained in my video yesterday, there's like a scale. There's 0 in the middle where you're total zen, calm, zen master. And then there's like feeling good and there's feeling horrible. And like I'm always like grounded in the middle for the most part until I would get pissed off with my family. They were like the only ones that could get to me. Like the people in the world don't bother me, but like I always was taught family first. And I realize now they don't put me first. Why am I putting them first? So I'm living for myself now. I'm looking at Ollie's butt, which is adorable. Come here, baby. Oh, the poo-poos. The poo-poos. Oh, he's so fluffy. Hi, internets. Hello, my name is Ollie. Right? Hello, my name is Ollie. Okay, I'll let you go. Goodbye. But anyway, I don't know. It just made me think that I need to start focusing on talking about being good and not God, because God alienates people. It seems like when people hear the word God, they can't believe it because there's no guy sitting up in the sky chilling in heaven to them. And I get that, especially if they're another religion and you don't believe in the same God. So I'm just going to preach good from now on. Like, I do personally believe it is God. And Ollie, why are you chewing on the phone? Come here, doofus. Oh. Oh. He doesn't like being pointed at. It's rude. Pointing is rude. Right? Is pointing rude? I'm pointing at you. Is it rude? It's rude, right? He doesn't like it. I don't know why I just did that to him. But, I usually won't point at him. I'll try to boop him in the nose sometimes and he'll take offense. But other than that, I don't tease my cat. But that's why he loves me. But yeah, I need to practice preaching good instead of God. And, like I said, Ollie, stop chewing on stuff, babe. Seriously, don't do, sorry. I'm not even editing out yelling at my cat, because someday I'm going to look back at this video when he passes away, which is hopefully in a many, many, many years from now. But I'm going to be able to look back and know, yeah, I yelled at Ollie, right? I was yelling at you, because you're being a butt. No, stop. He's chewing on my pliers. My crafting pliers that I just bought because my other pair broke because I was stupid with them. Honey, are you teething or are you regressing into a baby? Now he's chewing on the phone stand. Cut it out. Get down. Okay, now you're pissing me off. Go. Oh, man, he's gone. Okay. Oh. Alright. But, yeah. So, it seems like when someone says, oh, I believe in God, there's a chance that they're like, oh, I believe in God too, he's amazing. And then there's like, God, are you crazy? So, I mean, I don't want to deal with that. So, maybe my way to go about this is preaching good instead of God. So, that's what we're going to do here, guys. So, that's what this channel is going to be dedicated to now. Just me talking to you guys, because I'm sick of sitting there making bracelets in isolation. It was like a punishment, and I freaking hated it. My only happiness was like when the comments would come through and I got to talk to you. And sometimes people would ask me things, but more often than not, how many strings? That's what I would get, and it's like, that's not communication. I want to be able to talk to you guys. I'm sorry if that seems selfish of me because I'm not teaching bracelets, but like I said, I have an entire beginner's playlist that if you watched it straight through, by the end of it, I can guarantee you'd be able to follow any pattern. So it's like, I did my part. I don't have to keep suffering. I don't have to keep suffering through making bracelets one knot at a time and explaining everything, going forward, forward, backward, 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 forward. Those 4 words, forward, backward, backward, forward, and forward, backward, I mean, those 4 terms just were ingrained in my brain that I was making bracelets in my sleep, guys. That flower daisy chain bracelet came to me in my sleep because I was making bracelets so damn much I was going crazy. So, you're welcome. I'm done. I'm done. I'm checking out. OG bracelet making is over. I taught what I taught. It's on my channel. I'm sorry if you found me that way and you were like, hey, she makes bracelets, click, subscribe, and now here I am talking about stuff. But this channel is now a vlog channel, as I think I said a few videos back. So I don't know what else to tell you. If you don't like me, you don't like what I'm talking about, just unsubscribe. I won't be offended. It's totally cool. You don't want to see my bullshit on your page, and I respect that. Sometimes I get people that I just start to fall away from, and yes, I remove them from my subscriptions. I don't announce it to them, because honestly, why make someone feel bad? Why would you do that? Would you like someone coming to your channel that you're working hard on and being like, I used to like you, what happened? That's why I have a heart for Foodie Beauty, and some of you hate her because of some of the things she's done, but the thing is, I think the more you go at her and make her feel bad, the more mistakes she's making. Because think of it, you have someone, or someone's, because the whole internet seems to be against her, but you have all these people scrutinizing everything you do and telling you to do better, and you're trying your hardest, you really are, but you're not in a good place. And then on top of not being in a good place, you have all this pressure on top of you. So it's like, I can't. I got pretty pissed at her too, but only because she had cursed me out during the Cuba rage. So I kind of backed away. I was really nice to her. I was trying to be a supportive friend, because I know some of the people in the chat, they're not supportive. They're just looking to make her crazier. And I wasn't trying to do that. I was actually trying to help her. But I tended to hold grudges. I don't anymore. I've worked on myself. I'm at a place of forgiveness. So now it's just, I want to pass that around, because unless you're forgiving the people you're mad at, you're only hurting yourself. Because that feeling of rage and tightness, that's just hurting you. That is literally toxic to your body. Physiologically, you are hurting yourself. It's not even just mental pain. You are physically hurting yourself. So the more you can calm down and just become that Zen master at zero, that like you're not totally off the wall at hatred, and you don't have to be at super happy either. You don't have to be Barbie. You don't have to be. You can be right in the middle and just grounded and just Zen, like a meditation state at all times. So I'm going to leave you with that thought, and thanks for watching, I guess. Bye.